everyone, welcome to my channel, Books, Chris and Furs. My name is Leslie, and I'm here to do Elaine's The Dragon Book tag. This is an original tag. I thought it was a really cute idea, and I have this, I guess you could say like a dragon scale shawl, and I also have a dragon with me right here. So I put a poll out to name the dragon, and so Watch With Me T, I think is their name, so that this looks like Twiggles. So I also like the name Gizmo because of Guillermo from What We Do in the Shadows. So I think their name's going to be Gizmo Twiggles. And so this dragon will be in the back. Fuzzy Wuzzy dragon. Let's see. They're kind of looking off to the side. That's the best I could do. All right, anyways, let's get this started. Prompt 1. What book or series you enjoyed features gold, shiny items, or has a shiny cover? I don't have any that have a shiny cover, but I do have a book that has gold in the title. So that's How Much of These Hills Are Gold by C. Pam Zhang. It's written in the style of a Western, but when you look at the different years that break up this book, like, you know, instead of saying like 2025 or 1925, there's like a two X's, I think. I'm trying to look for an example at the beginning of each part. So that always gave me a sense that even though this is like a Western, that it's timeless. It could take place at any point in time. So it says XX62 for part 1. I don't know if this is gonna focus, but I tried. Anyways, so yes, this is a bit of a family tale of trying to establish themselves in early westernized American society and whatnot. So really great read. I'm gonna have to do a reread at some point. And there's some loud noise outside. Why? Why is this happening now? 2. Prompt. Dragons and cats go together. Do you have cats? A favorite book or series that features cats? I have 2 cats, but they're not here now. Sometimes you'll see them featured on my videos. They have a little floating perch right next to me, connected to the window. Tariel's usually in there. Sometimes the Ginger's in there. Occasionally, they're both in there, but that usually ends in an argument. So I have my fur babies that steal the spotlight at times. Prompt 3. Dragonology. What craft or hobby do you enjoy? Do you have books about crafts and hobbies? This is a funny thing. Yes, I haven't for a while, and I keep saying I want to get back into it. I used to be really good at crocheting. I made this years ago. I think it might be like actually like an alligator scale or something like that on YouTube, where I found the pattern. I thought it was really cool, so I just call it a dragon scale. And my daughter has used it so many times. We recently went to an event at the Hollywood Bowl for D20 because my daughter's into Dungeons and Dragons. So she was able to wear this as like dragon scales along with like everything else that she was wearing, which is pretty cool. So it's definitely gotten several uses out of it. So, and also, it's one of those things where it's the thought that counts more than the thing. I have like 2 friends that don't even know each other separately that have given me gifts, even though I crochet. In their mind, they just translate that to knitting. So one of my friends gave me seasonal snow knitting. My daughter knows how to knit, so it comes in handy for her. But I also just really enjoy like the different philosophies about creating projects. There's like darning in here, so there's about mending. So it's about maybe not adding more resources, but protecting and continuing to use the resources that you have, and upcycling. And Another friend of mine gave me a bunch of different needles. So my daughter will use these, but they're not crochet needles. Oh my goodness. Let me see. What is, I think that's up there. Fourth one. Okay, prompts. Dragon art. Do you have a favorite artist? Books featuring artists. Answer can be about any type of artist, musician, author, painter. Oh, I have a couple of things. I'll briefly talk about my favorite author because I talk about them too much. Or I don't think I talk about them enough, but I'm sure it's probably too much for other people. So my favorite author is Hanifa Duraki, who wrote They Can't Kill Us Until They Kill Us. I don't have it with me right now, but I have like this version, and I also have like the 50th year anniversary edition. I have A Little Devil in America, which is a great read. And it says, in the praise of Black performance. And in every nonfiction work that this author writes, because he only has one fiction. No, everything he's write has been nonfiction. He places like a memoir-esque style to it. So you're also learning about the subjects that the author cares about, but also how it impacts him. So that would be part of the fact of why he's considered like a social critic and a poet and a music critic. And he also wrote A Love Letter to a Tribe Called Quest, which is a great read, which also talks about the origins of certain sounds and music. And On Basketball and Ascension, there's Always a Seer, which is really, it is talking about basketball, but it's more about exploring not just ascension, but also dissension, right? What are all those dips in life that make you really appreciate the highs? And he also goes in once again into like his life. And he also has 2 poetry collections. The only one I don't have by this author is he wrote a children's book about Aretha Franklin that I think I read. I think I read it last year because I love all this stuff. So yeah, there's always some like musical element in a majority of his work. You know what? What else should I bring up? I can't think of any musical artists right now. My brain's kind of gone. But I do have a ton of like cooking books right behind me. I'm only grabbing 2, but I have a ton. There's Anthony in the Kitchen from Queer Eye. And so he has his dinner. And yeah, it's just a lot of fun. It's great to look at. I'm definitely not making these kind of meals on the weekday. It's usually a weekend. And most importantly, it's usually my daughter that uses those because those are actually gifts to her. But I have just like a ton of, those are all like cookbooks up there that I'll take a gander at sometimes. Let me see. Prompt 5. How to live with dragons. Do you cover by? And what are your favorite colors? So cover by, yes, I'll definitely pick up a book if it's pretty or if it's enticing. I don't have an example right off the top of my head. But yeah, I don't really deter from books if I don't like the cover, but if I find the book cover attractive, I'll definitely like grab it. And I like picking up books and not really like seeing what the book is about. Just for that element of surprise, whether I end up liking the book or not. My favorite, I don't really have a favorite color. I tend to like earth tones. So all like earth tones and also like purple lavender type colors. That's the only one that's not really like an earth tone that I like, or like an indigo or whatever. But usually like just like warm earth colors. Earth tone colors. What else? Oh, what book or series did you enjoy that features dragons? Oh shoot. Okay. I have 2, and you know what? I just remembered one. Ooh, cannot think of it. There's a children's book written by George R. R. Martin, and it's super short. it's marketed as a children's book, but it's really like if you've read any of his other books, like in the world of A Song of Ice and Fire, it's very similarly written. And it's really just about this young girl that's born, and she's basically like cold-blooded. I think she's like a bit misunderstood, and then her village ends up being in danger, and arises an ice dragon, and only she could ride it. It's just like this innate thing that she could do. So you kind of see that someone that has a difference actually finds their purpose and where they belong all along, which is really just being themselves in a way. And I just always really love that book. Yeah, that's all I could think of. There's another one I know I read recently that my brain's just like, nope, don't remember. Um, Star Magic. Do you have a favorite constellation, a favorite astronomy book? No, I don't. I do not have not one star constellation or astronomy book. I don't have one on me. 7. Chinese horoscope. Book about astrology, astronomy, book or series that features the movement of stars and planets. Nope. These last two are just like big fat nopes. I don't have anything for those ones. Yeah. This is like a very quick tag. I wish I had better answers for the last two, but I don't have not one. So that's about it. You know what I did want to share with you? I forgot. There's one of them I didn't finish answering. That was about cats. So I'm gonna look around and share that I did have a cat book. I totally forgot. The Cat Who Saved Books was a book that like I thought I wouldn't like. It took me a minute to get into it, but once the characters started having a conversation about small businesses and consumerism and the literary marketplace, I was really hooked in. And then also, let's see if this works. When I was a teenager, there was a television show called Samurai Pizza Cats. Yeah, it was in the 1990s. I wish I could show a clip, but I don't know if it would get taken down. But it's about these anamorphic cats who work at a pizza restaurant and moonlight as superheroes protecting the city of Little Tokyo. And as a kid, that was like such a fun cartoon. But I don't know if it didn't last long. I think it would come on like right when I needed to leave for school. So sometimes I would leave late to school just so I could sneak in a little bit of a watch of that. But yeah, that's all I could think of. The last two, I'm sorry, I don't really have an answer for that. And if you're watching this, consider yourself tagged. I will also go ahead and I'll tag some other people. I'm just not sure just yet. So I wish you all the best. I hope you do this dragon tag. And if you do, please go ahead and tag me in it so I'll watch. All right. Bye, everyone.